After Sam Altman declared a code red threat level, midnight after OpenAI's lead in the AI race was shattered by the unexpected dominance of Google's Gemini 3, just about everybody was ready to write off OpenAI as the Netscape of the 2020s. That is, until yesterday when they dropped their answer to Gemini GPT-5.2, a model that once again moves the AI hype wheel back in favor of OpenAI. It's dominating all the Trust Me Bro benchmarks and even beats Claude Opus 4.5 on software engineering and reasoning. That the real flex, though, is its rise to the top of the ARC AGI benchmark. The ARC prize just verified a 390x efficiency improvement in 1 year from the O3 model to 5.2. That's not a typo. That's a model that's 390 times more efficient. In today's video, we'll find out if we finally reach the edge of the AGI threshold, or if this is just more smoke and mirrors to keep the AI hype train going into 2026. So here we are going to test the GPT-5.2 model and then compare it with Gemini and Opus. So the GPT-5.2 model with no reasoning. In the first floor plan question, it fails blatantly. It kind of works. It has its own dark aesthetic and there are no doors in the map. So this is a decent generation. There we've got the SVG panda eating a burger and it is not good. It's quite a bit wonky. It's very big and it's not a good generation. Moving forward, we've got a Pokeball in 3JS and it is fine. The button is very wonky, but other than that, it looks kind of solid. So this is good. Chessboard with an autoplay feature is also kind of fine. Majestic Butterfly flying in a garden is really solid. The wings can be a bit wonky at times, but it is still good, and the physics in flying have good animations. CLI tool in Rust is not good, and the Blender script for Pokeball also doesn't work. Similarly, the 3 normal questions including the riddle are a fail. The riddle is something that even small models pass, but for some reason it gets lost in that. Now the reasoning variant, especially the extra high variant, so let's start with the floor plan. In the floor plan, we've got a kind of good generation. There are doors and everything, but there's an issue. It doesn't really make sense. The entrance is now written down and the structure doesn't really make sense. Like, why would the living room be the size of a pea? It is kind of wonky, but the code is good. SVG of a panda eating a burger is kind of fine. The stomach should have been behind the burger and it would have been really good. But even after a few regenerations, it just messed up something or the other. The Pokeball in 3JS is also pretty fine. I mean, I couldn't ask anything more from it, apart from maybe a little bit of a natural background, but that wasn't mentioned in the prompt, so I guess it's good that it didn't do that and adhere to the prompt. After this, we've got the chessboard with autoplay, and it is kind of wonky. The height of each square is not static. It keeps changing based on whether the piece is in a block or not, which is not ideal. And the color of the white squares is the same as the color of the white pieces, which makes them invisible. So, it's not good. Then there's the 3D Minecraft game, and it is pretty bad. It doesn't even work even after multiple regenerations. Majestic Butterfly. Flying in the garden, however, is extremely good. It is kind of Dart themed, which GPT-5 models prefer a lot. So, it's quite good. Here is a comparison between Minimax M2.1, GPT-5.2 Thinking, Gemini 3 Pro, and Opus 4.25 on 3D sim of an F1 car performing a continuous drifting donut in the street. All of them got the car orientation wrong in one shot, except GPT-5.2. Minimax M2.1 fixed the lighting, car orientation, aligned tangentially with the donut path, and car scale correctly in 5 turns. Minimax M2.1's high-speed agentic iteration loops are good for this workflow. Here ChatGPT 5.2 and Gemini 3 Pro played a standard-fied chess match and Gemini won, but it's worth to note that in this case ChatGPT 5.2 was used, not the Pro one. Here it has built a full 3D graphics engine in a single file. Interactive controls, 4K export, one shot. Here GPT-5.2 built an entire financial model in one session. 30 reasoning tokens, 5,000 cells, 18 interconnected sheets. It modularized projections, cleaned up assumptions, added dynamic scenarios, sensitivity analysis, beautiful charts. None of the numbers added up though. The DCF valued a lemonade stand at 2.7 billion. Here is a strong one. Create me GTA 6 game using code and make it as realistic as possible. Add any features of your choice. So I'm just going to give the prompt and run it. Going to preview Wise City Stories and Sandbox. We're having so many things going on here. Quick actions, new mission, clear mission, reset world, mini-map, police mission. We're having the armor and health speed on foot, and we're having the objective. And here we're having the controls options. We are having graphics. I don't know what does it even mean by graphics over here. Performance, balanced, and cinematic. So it has this themes. I will go with the cinematic. I don't know what is this visual scan lines. It has so much of things going on over here. So we having the save and pause button. I don't know where it is going to save this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, this is the person I'm able to move. If I click on shift, it moves faster. And the same car I'm able to see. I'm not able to see police or mission. So, okay, what if I click on spawn traffic? Traffic increased. Oh, if I click on spawn traffic, there are more number of cars appearing. Okay, and just look at the speed here. It's 206 kilometer per hour. I mean, am I walking or is it like a jet fighter or something? It's going in 200 km/h. Okay, and I'm not able to see this yellow color thing or this violet thing, police, or the mission. Okay, here we can see. Okay, in the mini map, it shows where police is there. Okay, so this is basically a police, and we've got a star over here. You could hear the sound, right? We have got a star over here since I took a police car. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I can't get out, so I'll just click E and get out. But still, the sound is coming. Still, the sound is coming. It's only showing the police, but I have walked a far distance. Still, I can't see mission. So, new mission. So it's saying, get to the marker, avoid traffic. Drive to the marker distance 1015 where I need to drive to the marker. I can't even see the marker. This is police. I'm just like randomly going based upon the distance that is getting reduced. So we have got the marker over here. I think this is the mission. So let me go here. Okay, no active mission start. Oh, okay, I have got the amount. I guess earlier it was 250 and it was saying if you come to that marker, we will be getting some around 77, I guess. And I have got a mission, so no active mission, start one. Okay, I'll just go with new mission again. Lose the cops time left. So I guess cops are going to be chasing me, but I don't even think they're coming closer to me. You just saw the number of details going on the mission and everything. But this one doesn't have any missions or stuff. I mean, it looks good. The interface looks good. We can drive cars. So here is also a strong one. In this prompt, we are asking them to build a professional grade image compressor tool. So you might have used this kind of tools online. You upload your image and the image gets compressed. The file size gets reduced, so they have to build a complete application like this in a single Python code. Let's see if it's actually able to recreate it and if the other models do it as well. So let me send this prompt and let's see what they come up with. Okay, we have the code from all three models. Let's start off with Opus 4.5, which, I highly hope that it will work. Anyways, we improve it if it doesn't. Okay, this looks awesome. Pixel Press Pro. You can see the whole UI looks absolutely insane. So it says, drag your images over here, and you can see this folder animation is absolutely awesome. So let's select an image. So we have this image over here where the ChatGPT handle is actually teasing the code named garlic model. This is, I think if I'm not wrong, around 12 MB in size. So we'll select this image and you can see the image has been opened. We can select the quality level. By the way, we have day and night mode, but it is not working. So we'll select quality as medium and you can see it is set to 60%. Let's compress the image. So I have hit compress. So I'm not sure if it's actually compressing or not. You can see it says files in queue and there's one file in queue. So guys, I don't see anything happening, so maybe it needs some improvement. Anyways, let's look at Gemini now. Actually, Opus previously was able to do it with slightly different prompt. Okay, so Gemini straight up gives an error. We'll have to share this error with Gemini, I guess. So this is where actually OpenAI models can kind of catch up because they are kind of good and they are kind of good in this mathematical calculations and compression like stuff. I hope you get what I mean. So let's run this and okay, it didn't work. So all three were not able to work. Opus didn't give an error, but it didn't give an output as well. So we'll do the second iteration. Okay, it seems that we have the updated responses. Let's have a look. Starting off with Opus. It was already running in Opus. It is just that when we were trying to compress the images, we were not able to see that. So we'll set the compression settings to medium and let's hit compress all images. Okay everyone. So I've tried to get it working, but it is not working. So there is no hope over here. Let's see if Gemini 3 Pro has any luck. We'll paste the code and we'll run it. Okay, we finally do see a UI with Gemini 3 Pro. Select images to compress. So, okay, PNG images are not supported, I guess. I mean, it is not even accepting JPEG images. So what am I supposed to send then? I mean, I don't know. If you don't support even JPEG or PNG, then what are you going to compress? So we'll keep this aside and let's try GPT-5.2. Then we'll paste the code. We'll run it. Okay, this seems to be a very sophisticated UI. Okay, drop images over here. Can add files. So, okay, we are able to select PNG images. When it comes to GPT-5.2, we have added the image. We have sliders for quality. We have different output formats. We can select JPEG for OK JPEG is selected. We can select some preset, gentle, balanced, aggressive, so we'll select balanced. Then let's hit compress and save. So it is asking where to save. We'll save it in the desktop. It is saying it's working and it says it's complete. Let's actually check if anything was saved. Okay, an image was saved. Let's look at the size of this image. So it says it is 2 MB on the disk, whereas the original image was 12 MB. And let's look at the quality. It does seem to be of a decent quality. Nothing much is lost. So yes, GPT-5.2 got it right. So GPT-5.2 gets 2 points and other two models, Opus 4.5 and Gemini 3 Pro, both get 0 because both were not able to give us a working response. Next, let's try something equally as challenging. Make a clone of Windows 11. Use the original wallpaper. On the desktop, there should be icons for MS Word, Paint, Calculator, and Chrome. But wait a minute, Gemini 3 can already do these programs. So instead of Paint and Calculator, I think these are way too easy. Let's try Excel and PowerPoint. This is going to be way harder. And then each program should work. The Start menu should also work. Put everything in a standalone HTML file. And let me remember to select Canvas so we can preview this in a side window. Let's press Generate. Alright, here's what we get, and this was super quick. It only thought for 10 seconds, and that's basically its thinking process. Its thoughts are definitely way shorter and more concise than Gemini 3 or DeepSeek, which tend to think for a lot. Anyways, let's click on Preview, and here's what we get. So, it doesn't really look like Windows 11 desktop. The Start menu also looks kind of weird, but nevertheless, let's try out each app. So, I'm going to click on Word, and this does open up Word. Let's try typing something in. So that also works. Let me try to bold this. Very nice. And then underline. So all three of these settings work. Let me also try to change the font of this. So the font works as well. Let's try clicking save. So it does say saved here, but I don't think it actually saved anything. And then let me try to move this window around. So that works. Let me try to minimize this. That also works. And then let me expand this. That also works. And then finally, let's exit out of this and then try Excel. So here we have Excel. Let's actually see if this works. So let's try 1 and then 2 here. And then for the formula, let's try something like equals the sum of A1 to A2. And that also works. Very cool. Or let's try this. Let me add a cell here. And then let's set this equal to A3 minus A2, which would give me 1, which is correct. This is 3, 2, which is 1. Alright, let's add another number here. And then let's set the cell equal to A3 SB3. And indeed, it gives me 15, which is correct. Very cool. So this is actually a very basic but working version of Excel. I actually tried the same prompt in Gemini 3 Pro, but it could not create a working Excel. You can see that I can't even click on any of these cells or do anything. So, very impressive. Next, let's try PowerPoint, and this also seems to work. So, let's try changing the text here. And then, let me add a new text block. I can also move the text block around and edit the text. Very nice. And then here's a new slide. Here's the second slide. And then I can also add a new slide here. That's pretty much it though. I can't like change the background or anything or add images. So, it's just a very basic render of PowerPoint. Anyways, let me also press present. And present actually works. So I can also use the arrow keys to navigate to the next or previous slide, and then I can press escape to exit. Everything just works. This is super impressive. Again, if I try the same prompt in Gemini 3 Pro, it gave me this, which looks a lot more like PowerPoint, but I can't even like insert any text. So if I click on this, there is no drop down. I can't insert a new slide. If I click here, notice it's not doing anything. None of these buttons actually work. Alright, next, let's also try Google Chrome. So here's what Chrome looks like. Here it says this is a standalone HTML demo, so it can't embed arbitrary websites. Let's just try Google and see if that works. Yeah, it seems like none of these work for security reasons. Nevertheless, it's still impressive that it's able to code a working version of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint all in this one desktop clone. Let me also check the Start menu, and then let me open up Word again, and that also works. So the Start menu works. Let's search for something like Excel, and that also works. So it's not perfect. The icons kind of look weird. It doesn't use the default Windows 11 wallpaper, but most things are functional. I'm sure with a few more prompts, we can get this to look even better. Overall, very interesting, and I'm going to say GPT-5.2 in these tests performed quite well to a point where it did actually somewhat impress me, so that is nice to see. But still, in my opinion, Opus 4.5 is at this point, I would have to say, the strongest model comparatively to the rest of the ones we've tested here. So, with that, that is going to conclude our head-to-head test of these models. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And thanks for watching.